There. Hey, howdy. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Welcome to all of y'all. Let's see if I can turn that brightness down a little bit. Man, I'm so happy to see y'all still out here. I was thinking about y'all for the last hour. Business meeting. I say meeting, business meeting slash business dinner. But I was trying to get through as quick as I could, come back to say howdy to all of y'all and welcome aboard. Man, sorry about that. Sometimes real life interferes with our Monday evening activities. For those of you who don't know, I posted some Instagrams about it earlier, but I'm actually, I've been to a few places. I've been everywhere, man. Started off in Houston, flew to Nashville, changed planes, flew to Columbus, Ohio, got in a rent car with a bunch of other people, drove across to Marietta, Ohio, which is where I'm at this evening in preparation for a couple of days of business meetings and boring stuff like that. And so here I am. So yeah, I knew I was going to be pushing the time a little bit with all of y'all, but thank you so much for sticking around. I'm sitting there looking at all the names. Hey, congratulations, y'all. I actually was trying to follow along as quietly and as discreetly as I could to see who was out here on the chat and all of that. And y'all don't need me. Y'all are your own little family in terms of chat and everything else. I kind of like to see that as well. So welcome aboard. Before I forget, SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all the reality fans, but especially you guys out here that are watching live and those of you who are following along a little bit later on replay, especially tonight because the times are so screwed up and everything. Welcome to all of y'all. I haven't had time to read through all the comments, but I hope y'all been having fun. I no one who's out there. I am sure all of y'all are. Now I'm not going to go through and holler out all the names as I normally do, just because it's been y'all. Some of y'all been out here for a while, and it take too long to scan through them all. But welcome to each and every one of y'all. I ate pretty good. I gotta say, Texas barbecue is the best I ever had, but Ohio, West Virginia barbecue, not too bad at all. And y'all like, normally I have my background, I'll pick some little something in there. Not this time. No, this isn't my grandmother's house. No, this is a hotel room I'm staying at here in Marietta, Georgia. Let me show y'all. Let me just disconnect and I'll just kind of spin around and show y'all. Look at that thing. Roll top desk I'm operating on. Yeah, it's I'm staying in this hotel I'm staying in apparently was built in the 1890s. So it's got a lot of history. And I also understand it's got a lot of ghosts. So if y'all see anything behind, just holler. Let me know. Because I probably won't be the first one to notice it. If it's two little girls creeping down the hallway, yeah, let me know, because that's when I'm checking out of the hotel and moving on somewhere else. Moss Ant's a nice room. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Creaky wooden floors. Who knows what kind of sounds we're gonna hear in the middle of the night? But yeah, it's kind of it sits right on the Ohio River, and like I say, it's been here for what's that, 130 something years. Been here a long time, a little bit longer than I've been on the face of this earth as well. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm going to go exploring tomorrow, business meetings, all that. But I'm going to explore the downstairs lobby. And it takes you back in time. Makes me feel like I'm sitting in Victoria times or something. Yeah, it's got the Victorian couches and pianos and everything else. I don't know what I'm doing here. We'll see. Interesting theme for a Big Brother house, right? What would people do if they got into the Big Brother house and you had this kind of styling going on and I said, welcome back to the 1920s. We're going to be playing the game as though you lived back in the days before TVs and radios and cell phones and everything else. Yeah, I don't know how much they would they appreciate that. And Moss saying, I see the word red rum behind you. Yeah, don't be doing that to me. As a kid, I read The Shining by Stephen King. I think I've told you all this story. I was out on a ranch in West Texas, the hill country of Texas. 45 minutes, an hour's drive away from the nearest town, the nearest hospital, the nearest civilization. I mean, it was one of those places where my dad used to always say, you could start on this corner of the ranch, you could drive your car all the way to the other corner, and it'd take you a day to get there. And that's how big the place. Little exaggeration, but this was a huge place. And so, of course, out in the middle of that kind of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, I'm reading The Shining. A little creepy, but we'll see. We'll see this evening. I remember in the Big Brother house during prank week, they had a bunch of clowns. Do y'all remember that? Bunch of psychotic clowns showing up behind the windows while we were in there that particular week. The first ones that showed up right in front of me. I'm sitting there washing dishes. This ghost staring me down. I'm not even noticing. I don't think I gave the effect that they wanted to see. I think Nicole, or I don't know who it was, noticed behind me and started screaming. At that point, I looked up. I was like, that's a killer clown. You don't see that every day, except in the Big Brother house. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Let's see. We're gonna do a little bit different. Let me start by saying I got no notes. I got nothing. So anything y'all want to ask, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. How long will we go? I figure we'll go for an hour, unless y'all just start disappearing, and then I don't know. I've talked to rocks before and walls and all that, so I may talk anyway. But now, any questions that y'all got, whether it's reality TV, whether it's creepy hotel rooms, I think if Jason Myers shows up, that door opens up and there's a guy in a hockey mask, you're gonna see how fast a big old guy can still move when he has the right incentive. Wouldn't that get your attention? Yeah, I'm not saying that, Patsy Beat. No, I'm not saying that at all. That'll get you in trouble, right? Andy W saying clowns scare me. Depends on the environment. If they're at a circus, yeah, I'm all for it. I can deal with that. If it's just some random clown standing on a street corner holding a red balloon, or some random clown looking up at you from a storm drain, yeah, those clowns kind of creep me out as well. Clowns and mimes, you got to be very selective in how you choose to approach people. Any kind of white makeup, and well, I guess mimes don't have red noses, black noses. Mimes have, what color do mimes have noses? Red, black? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. If you're wearing white clown paint, you're still got to be a little careful about it. All right. Let's see. Mark Taylor. Who's the next couple going off the ride and die? Now he's talking about the challenge. I tell you what, there is some bad blood that's developing on the challenge, right? I know not all of y'all watch it, but this season, if you win the kind of the daily, we see it once a week, so we'll call it the weekly challenge. If you win the weekly challenge, you've got to pick 4 duos that are at risk of going home. That's a lot of bad blood being created as a result of it. Now, if you don't want to hear spoilers, just cover your ears for just a second or two. I hated to see Jay and Michelle go home because I really am a huge fan of Jay's. He fought so hard the last time he was on the show, but it just wasn't to be. They developed some enemies. Anissa and Jordan were coming after him. They paid the price. If it wasn't this week, it was going to be next week. Who's the next ones to go home? I don't know. Who else? Amber and Chauncey are pretty upset with Nelson and Nuris, right? So I don't know. Would they go after each other if one or the other won the competition? I'm really scared for Horatio and Olivia because yet again, they win a competition when they have to stay alive. And they won that competition. And I just think being one of the very last rookie duos left, it's going to be so easy for the other side, for the vets to be coming after them. So I'm kind of worried about that. I love Horatio and Olivia. I think they've completely surprised me in terms of how well they're playing the game. So yeah, more power to them, but yeah, I think they may be in trouble a little bit. Mark Taylor saying, any words on Celebrity Big Brother during this boring winter? I don't think we're getting it, Mark. Julie does not consult me, so I may be wrong. But I would think if we were getting Celebrity Big Brother, they would have been talking all about it. We would have at least seen some teasers on CBS and all that. I think they're taking a break. I really do. I think we'll get the regular Big Brother next summer. And then the following winter, maybe. Here's the thing. Do y'all think they tried to do a Celebrity Big Brother and they talked to a lot of people and a lot of people looked at last season's Celebrity Big Brother and said, a big old heck no to me doing that show? Because you had some celebrities last season who definitely created some issues in terms of marketability, right? They went in pretty popular folks, came out not quite as popular because of some of the ways that Celebrity Big Brother worked. I can I can see a lot of people saying, yeah, I think I'm going to take a pass on that. So maybe CBS wanted to do it and they just couldn't find enough interesting people to be on Celebrity Big Brother. Don't know. Have asked. No one's told me that. I'm just pure guessing, but maybe. What else on here? I'm looking at these comments, but if I miss your comment, it's probably just scroll past. Ask it again. I'll get to as many as I can. Vicky Stone saying, do you have all your Christmas shopping done? Yeah, right. Although I do have a lot of it done. I'm a big fan of online shopping. I can't stand going to shopping malls. I've done a little bit of that. But now I've purchased a few things. Here's the kicker. My wife's birthday's in December. My daughter's birthday's in December. I got Christmas in December. And on the last part of December, celebrating my 32nd wedding anniversary to my incredible, lovely, beautiful wife, Sharon. So yeah, there's a few things that I do a little shopping for, a few things to be celebrating and such. So yeah, I got a lot of it done, but there'll still be a few Amazon purchases here or there over the next few weeks because, that's what Amazon's for, that Prime delivery. A day or two ahead of time, yeah, that's enough time. Send it my way. Yeah, no, not all of it, but a lot of it done. Let's see, what else do we have on here? Moss and Cliffs at a hotel. Indeed I am. Yeah, this is my home bedroom. Be an interesting bedroom, right? Yeah, no, it's certainly a hotel. It's in Marietta, Ohio. I had to think. I've been to so many states today. I had to think about that. Bed and breakfast. No, I don't know. I got a bed and they're supposed to be giving us breakfast in the morning, but I don't think they're bringing it to me in bed. Unless it's that creepy woman wearing all the white and just floating down the hallway. And maybe she'll bring me some. No, yeah, no, not a bread and breakfast the way you're thinking. Just standard old hotel. It's just an old one in the middle of downtown. All right, let's see what else do we have on here. I'll throw this at you. Did y'all know today, 2 special days? Got to mention it. Not national. What am I thinking? International Ninja Day. Think like a ninja. Fight like a ninja, I guess. The ninjas need their own special day. I'm not going to argue against it. Hey, ninjas, y'all want a day? Come, go for it. Don't come attacking me because I oppose it. The other day, today is also National Soil Day. Now, ninjas, I kind of see having a special day. I mean, they throw those funky stars and they spin around and do all kinds of acrobatic stuff and they kill people. I guess they don't have any code against killing people, right? No, they do it all the time. National Soil Day. Do we need a special day just for dirt? Is the dirt going to be upset if we don't celebrate them? And actually, I kind of like dirt every day for growing, not so much for laying around in, but for growing. Dirt's a pretty good thing to have around. Just a little FYI for y'all when it comes to dirt. My first semester of college. First semester. I was trying to think of that. Very first semester, very first science class I took in college, very first lab class I took was all about mud. It's close to dirt, right? Just add a little water and you got mud. It was called Mud Lab. And all we did all semester long was study all the properties of mud. How thick it can get, how heavy it can get, how stringy it can get, how sticky it can get. And it's because they use mud in oil wells. So when they drill a hole, they use mud to keep things cool down, to lift the drill bit, the formation back up to surface. There's all kinds of important things for mud. We had to study every single bit of it. Maybe kind of questioned why I was studying petroleum engineering when I realized that I had to spend an entire semester just looking at dirt and gauging all the stuff about it. It's kind of cool though. I can tell you more about dirt right now than any single one of y'all out there would ever care to know about. And so I'll leave it at that because I don't know. I'll do a special YouTube channel one day on Cliff Talks About Dirt. That'll pull in the viewers, right? Hey, Sheldon did his vexology with flags. Boss Hog talks about dirt. Right up there. I had a TikTok video. I can see it coming, right? Yeah, maybe some other day. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Vicky's saying happy anniversary. Thank you. I'm very happy. Life would not be the same without my wife. All right. Brian Hostetler saying, any stories from your travels today? No, he's pretty basic. Flew Southwest, all different places. I wish I had more chance to explore. I landed in Nashville, I was there for an hour, and I'm back on. I've been all over the world. I've not had chance to actually explore Nashville before. I'd love to go. I like country music and everything. I'd love to go and take Sharon, go to the Grand Ole Opry and do that kind of stuff. This is a business trip, so didn't have the chance to do it. But no, other than that, every flight was absolutely packed. Man, I will say this. I took the aisle seat, had an empty seat right next to me, holding out hope that I was going to keep that empty seat. No, it did not happen. It's tough. Me and another guy next to me, we're kind of squeezed up like this, making our flight the rest of the way. But no, nothing too special, other than the fact, Brian, that I was in Columbus, so your neck of the woods, which is pretty cool. First time I've ever been to Columbus. Now I've been in Ohio before, kind of. I landed in Pittsburgh once, did some stuff in West Virginia, and along the way drove down 77 in Ohio for just a little bit. But first time I landed in the airport, yet again, I'd love to do a little exploring. We'll say this. There's a whole lot of people in the state of Ohio wearing Ohio State gear today. For those of you who don't know, they made it. They snuck into the college playoffs. They're pretty excited that they get to potentially play for a national championship. So saw a lot of people bragging about Ohio State while I was at the airport. That is absolutely the truth. Vicky saying, are you no longer a Texan? It's in the blood. What's a Bowling Soup song? Come back to Texas. Look it up if you haven't heard of it. I love that song. It's all about before you lose your accent and all of that. Yeah, now I'm Texan until I die, but occasionally I go out of way, cross over the borders, go into other states, just to remind myself how well I've got it inside the state of Texas. Yeah, but you will notice not wearing the cowboy hat today. I wear my boots. I got my boots on right now, but cowboy hats, not necessarily what you wear when you come up to do business in Ohio and West Virginia and things like that. Sitting there eating dinner with the guy from Jersey, he probably would have. I'm sure he wouldn't have been upset if I was wearing a cowboy hat, but felt like we had a little more in common when I wasn't wearing the manly headgear, so to speak. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? I'm just freewheeling it, guys. Let's see. Are you excited about next weekend? Mark's saying, is there anyone special you want to talk to? Now, for those of you who don't know, it is a busy week for Old Cliff Hog. I'm doing this, my business trips, first part of the week. Come Thursday, I'm heading down to Orlando, Florida for Hearts of Reality, Give Kids the World. Speaking of, Brian Hostetler, now, not just Brian, I've been doing fundraiser. I've talked about it a few times on here, and I've made a few postings on it. Several of you have donated to Give Kids the World. Thank you to all of you who donated. Thank you as well to all of you who maybe weren't able to donate, but keeping that charity in your heart and all that. And a special thanks to Brian Hostetler as well, who made a sizable donation to Give Kids the World. Brian, superstar. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, it's going to be fun this weekend. We've got people from Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge, Love Island. Who else? Pirate Master, The Circle. I don't know if Shuby's going to be there this time or not. He was there last time. Shuby's a hilarious guy from The Circle. But who am I most excited to see when I'm sitting here talking, I'm realizing this is a very old building. I don't think these walls are maybe quite as thick as they are nowadays. So for any of my neighbors who also are getting to listen to Cliff Notes live, whether they want to or not, sorry about that, guys. They're on the other side saying, who is this goofball talking to the top of his lungs in that hotel room? I won't do it forever, guys. I promise. All right. Who do I want to see when I go to Hearts of Reality this weekend? Johnny Bananas from The Challenge is going to be there. I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to try to grab a picture with him. We've got some of the last season of Big Brother 24 is going to be there. I think Pooch is going to be there. Jasmine's going to be there. Joseph's going to be there. If Joseph is there, I'm thinking Taylor will be there, but she hadn't officially announced. But we'll certainly have I'm gonna bring a muffin just for Jasmine. Just you think she isn't so tired of those jokes? I imagine every person that she talks to, oh, you want a muffin? Yeah, she'd probably throw that thing right back in my face. So I gotta come up with something new, some new shtick for when I meet Jasmine. I'll bring her a single balloon for her birthday celebration because it is still her birthday year, right? But yeah, Jasmine and Pooch and Joseph are going to be there. Who else do I want? I want to meet some of the old school survivors. Boston Rob's going to be there. Tina Wesson from Australia, the second season's going to be there. Who else? There was someone else. Boston Rob, Tina, Jerry Matheny is going to be there. The villain, the prop. I guess Richard Hatch was the first villainous survivor from season 1, but then Jerry came in right behind him, and she's a little bit of a villain too. And it's hard to believe that was, what are we on, season 43 of Survivor, and they were season 2. They were 41 seasons ago. Now, even they do 2 seasons a year, but that's still 20 something years, 20 and a half years, I guess. I remember that first step. I remember the first season with Richard and all that, and then and Susan Hawk, and then I remember the second season in Australia. Who would have thought 20 something years later, I'm still watching those shows. I would have participated on one of those shows. You never know what's life. You never know what life's going to hand you as you go through life. Just be receptive to it all, because you never know. Moss and Cliff is always a Texan. Yeah. You think I can ever lose this accent? You think if I went up to Jersey and spent the next 10 years doing, what do I do in Jersey? You think if I spent the next 10 years living in Philly and doing nothing but eating cheesecake and, I don't know, cheering on Rocky Balboa or something, I wouldn't still have this accent and still be a Texan? No, of course not. You can't get it out of me. You can't get the New Yorker out of a person from there, and you can't get the Texan out of me as well. But yeah, Mark, it's gonna be a lot of fun people there to talk to. There's gonna be some naked and afraid people there, and they always have interesting stories. You know, I went on Big Brother hoping, didn't work out, but I was hoping I'd win $500,000. These survivors go out there hoping to win $1 million. Not that we wouldn't do it just for the challenge of doing the game, but the money kind of is sweet as well. Naked and afraid, those people don't get any money. They just do it to say they finished up the challenge, which is pretty amazing. Now, I can't go into any details for all kinds of reasons, but I actually met someone who is related to someone who has made it to the very end of casting for Naked and Afraid. And it sounds like they have a very good shot of making it on. I know their history, their background. If this person makes on to Naked and Afraid, first of all, I'm going to be pretty excited because I kind of pseudo know who they are. But secondly, they're a badass. So yeah, that was kind of some interesting news to find out. But yeah, it is gonna be on a whole new level if this person makes it on to Naked and Afraid. And if they do, of course, I'll let y'all know. And then we can all cheer them on together. I don't know. Maybe we could do a viewing of Naked and Afraid one of these days. That'd be kind of fun just to talk. Here's the thing. I always give Sharon a hard time saying, oh, that's my next show. I'm going to do Naked and Afraid. Well, there's two things. One, I can't stand the cold. Walking outside here in Ohio where it's 40 degrees, and I'm like, oh, I'm miserable. It's cold in here. Where's my coat? I would never survive if I forget being naked. Whatever. The only thing about being naked is when you don't have any clothes on, there's a whole lot more places that those little biting insects can get to that I don't want them getting to. That would be the thing that against me, that would kill me, was all the bites where they shouldn't be biting. But trying to struggle through the cold, it would take a lot of willpower to make it through that. So it's always interesting to hear the stories from some of those folks who show up at Hearts of Reality as well. All right, let's see. Zachary Weiss. Hey, Cliff, flying into Hearts of Reality on Wednesday. See you later this week. All right, Zachary, you got to find me. Find me. I'll remember your name, but grab me at some point during the weekend. So cool that some of the folks watching Cliff Notes Live are going to be there. Grab me. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be, it's always fun talking to the celebrities. I say celebrity. I use that term very loosely. It's always fun talking to some of these reality people and figuring out, are they the way they portray themselves on TV, or are they just completely different? But it's also a lot of fun meeting up with some of the people that are hardcore reality TV fans and just listening to them and getting to share information. And they pick my brain. I pick theirs a little bit and just sharing tidbits of information, the scoops and all that kind of stuff. Uh, I'm I was a fan of Big Brother and Survivor and Amazing Race. I was a fan of reality TV long before I actually went on the show itself. So any chance I get to then talk about reality TV with other people is always cool. I mean, y'all can tell that by the fact that I do all these recaps and everything else. So yeah, it's going to be pretty neat. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Uh, Ma said the best thing about college is that classes are actually kooky. Well, Ma, I guess it depends on what kind of classes you're taking. I had some classes that, yeah, would they be considered kooky? Perhaps. I also had some classes that is the least descriptive term I would ever use to describe them. Quantum physics 207, nothing kooky about that. Torturous, excruciating, frustrating. I'll throw out a lot of descriptions of that class. Kooky probably doesn't come into play, but there's a few of those classes as well. Hey, you can study Harry Potter. There's a lot of things you can study in college nowadays. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? Mark saying, wish I could do an easy class like that. At Michigan, I studied physics and chemistry. All right, Mark, I need some special help from you or from someone else that's out there watching as well. For those of you who don't know, I work in the chemical industry, doing different work for chemical manufacturers and things like that. One of the tasks that we have at some point this week, during these next couple of days of meetings, I got to come up with a chemistry joke. It can be a pun or just a straight up joke, or I don't know, a beaker walks into a bar. I don't know. I got to come up with some kind of chemistry joke. So if you're just sitting there with a few up your sleeve, Mark, or anyone else, bring it on. Give me some chemistry jokes, and I might be the star of the show. With the business meetings, at least. You never know. All right, let's see. Ma saying, wish I could go someday. I'll meet Cliff. Yes, one day we will, Ma. Does not have to be at Hearts of Reality. Take care of business. Take care of getting ready for school and all that. But yeah, someday I look forward to meeting each and every one of y'all. Ma saying I'm avoiding physics at all costs. Physics is cool. I love me some physics. I love mechanical engineering. I love the whole idea that you can create torque by bending things, that you can create all kinds of shear forces and kinetics and static mechanics and all that. I love it all. When you get down to the molecular level and you're talking about molecules and bonding and all of that, it certainly takes a little bit more focus. But yeah, don't be afraid of physics. It's just like a foreign language. You just have to learn how to speak the language, know the terms, know what they represent, and suddenly everything starts coming into play. I'm a very hands-on guy, so anything mechanical engineering, physics, sometimes is hands-on enough that I love some of that. It's just the super tiny little quantum stuff that you just have to trust people who say those things exist. I've never seen them, but they say quarks exist. I'll take you at your word until someone proves it wrong, I suppose. All right. Let's see. Vicky said, I'll always be a Texan too. Woo! Lexington. I love my little town here in South Central Texas. Lexington, Texas is the best. I bet you've never been to Lexington, Cliff. All right, Vicky. A little news for you. My roommate in college graduated from Lexington High School. He did not live in Lexington. He actually lived in McDade, Texas, which was small enough that their high school was super tiny. So he transferred over to a slightly larger town of Lexington to go to school. So McDade, Lexington, Elgin, that whole area, I know it better than you probably think. I know exactly where you're talking about. So yes, I do know Lexington, and I know someone who went to school there, even if they didn't live there. So there you go. Yeah, it's a small world. Howdy, neighbor, right? All right. Let's see. They've got Go Blue. All right, Mark Taylor's saying they got beat by Michigan. So I'm guessing you're not an Ohio State fan. Yeah, I'm sure. Is Ohio State looking forward to a rematch with Michigan? Maybe not so much considering how badly they got beat last time, but I'm sure they'd like to pay back, get a little vengeance. Now, the thing is, Michigan and Ohio State both have to win their first playoff games in order to play each other in the national championship. I don't know. Would that happen? I think Michigan will beat TCU. I'm not sure that Ohio State will beat Georgia. I think it'll be Georgia versus Michigan in the college football national championship, which would be one heck of a game, would it not be? All right, Moss saying, I feel bad for you. Aggies suck this year, and the Houston Texans, embarrassing team to say the least. Yeah, football hadn't been so well to me this year. Aggies, hey, we beat LSU. At least we got that taken care of. But not the best year for my Texas A&M Aggies and the Houston Texans. Yeah, no, we're just fighting. We're just fighting to get our first round draft choice, so we can actually get a few more players in there and do something with this team. So, yeah, I thought I had the World Cup to fall back on. I was cheering so hard Saturday morning. The United States versus the Netherlands. If they won, they advanced. If they didn't, they went home. Well, they got their plane tickets home because they did not advance. And I was a little bit disappointed. But at least the United States beat Iran and they made it out of the group stage, which, I'm not completely disappointed that they didn't go further because they were playing some really good teams. But they made it out of the group stage, which I was pretty happy. 4 years from now, the United States is hosting the World Cup. And I don't know who I'm going to be cheering. I mean, I'll cheer for the United States. I'm going to be going to some games. They may not be games that the United States are playing in. It may be, I don't know, Ecuador versus Mongolia or something. I'll still be at the game and cheering for someone just to say I went to a World Cup soccer game. That's going to be so cool. 4 years to go, but I'll be waiting for the World Cup to make it here to the States. But yeah, Ma, a little tougher football for me other than that. Real tough for me. All right, let's see what else. Those neighbors are lucky. Free Cliff Notes. I'm sure that's exactly what they're saying. Yeah, maybe not so much. All right, Brian saying, ask Boston Rob to tell you the crazy pie lady story. All right, now Brian, I'm gonna mention that to Rob, and he's gonna punch me in the face or something, right? I mean, there's gonna be some connotation that I'm not aware of, and I'm just gonna say, what? I didn't know. I just had someone ask me that question. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope he's a nice, friendly, normal guy, and that I get a chance to talk to him all. I hope he's not just some diva. It's like, oh God, why did I ever even enjoy watching you play? I'm sure he's not going to be. But yeah, that's gonna be. It's gonna be so cool. Meet some of these old school Survivor players. That's gonna be fantastic. Mark saying, is Johnny Bananas the favorite to win on the challenge? Well, it doesn't seem like anyone's going after him so much, right? Even, was it Jay and Michelle who didn't even put him up the first time they won? Or was it Nelson? Maybe it was Nelson and Norris that the first time they won, they didn't put him up. No, I think it was Jay and Michelle. The first time they won, they did not put him and Nani up. The second they did, only because they were feeling pressure. Every time Johnny Bananas plays a challenge, I feels like it's his to win unless something happens differently. We'll see. Maybe you think if I show up this weekend and say, hey, Johnny, did you win the challenge, Ride or Dies? Just between you and me, you can tell me, right? Yeah, I'm sure he'll tell me. There's probably spoilers out there somewhere. There's some shows I look at spoilers and I just can't keep from looking at things here or there. But other shows, Survivor and the challenge, I really try to avoid it because I like to be surprised. I like to see the stories, the plot lines developing instead of finding out the ending and then having to go back and see how it all develops. I'd rather watch it happen as naturally as possible, given that this is all edited out to create a story anyway. But yeah, so I don't know if he wins it or not, but I may ask him this week. And like I said, I have a feeling he probably won't tell me, but I may still ask him anyway. Cindy Hires, my daughter saw Daniel Durston from Big Brother season 24 perform as Elvis last Friday night in Vegas. If I'm in Las Vegas, I'd probably go by and see him and see how well he does. He looks like it. I've seen some of the little clips and everything. He does a better job than I could do. But yeah, I would love to see Daniel in there, and maybe if I had a chance, go say hi afterwards or something. We used to go to Vegas all the time. I have not been in quite a while. Life gets in the way. But yeah, if I go to Vegas, I'm checking out Daniel. What a cool job, I guess, right? Would you get tired of it? Maybe, but still, playing Elvis every single night. Do you, if you play Elvis as a stage show, when you get out of there, do you say, is it like working in a hamburger joint or something? When you get done, you say, I don't want to have anything to do with hamburgers. Done. And we're not stopping at McDonald's, Burger King. I don't want to have anything to do with hamburgers. Is Daniel Durston like that? He does it every night to get paid. So as soon as he takes off the makeup, he's saying, I don't want to have anything to do with Elvis. I don't want to sing a song. I don't want to talk like him. I don't want to do hip shaking. And I'm not doing anything for free in just regular life. Because I'm thinking if I was that good at impersonating Elvis, I would drive my family and the people around me crazy because I'd constantly be coming up, hey, mama, hey, hey. Yeah, they'd say, all right, stop with the Elvis impersonating. You're not that good. But he is, apparently. All right. Cindy saying, Cliff, come hang out with Mima, with me in Jersey. Jersey is just a little further north than I'm going on this particular trip. One of these days, I got to get up to Jersey and New York and the whole East Coast and check out the Northeast Coast and all. I've been all over the world. I've never been up there. I passed by, I didn't stop, but I passed by Charlie's Cheesesteak in Columbus, Ohio. And the thought of a cheesesteak just sounded so good today. Made me think of Philadelphia. And of course, Philadelphia makes me think of the whole Eastern Seaboard. And yeah, one of these days I'll head up your neck of the woods. I'd love to check the area out and see what's all about. I've been to Pittsburgh. That's about as close to Philadelphia as I've been, or as close to Jersey or New York, anywhere else. Western Pennsylvania, but one of these days. All right. Let's see. Ma saying, beat the Texan out of him. Nah, yeah. As long as I live and breathe, you're not beating the Texan out of me. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, Ma. All right. Brian saying, I know someone that will be on The Voice in January. They're from Ohio. Isn't that cool? These people who are on The Voice, no, not all of them. Some of them so surprised me. One of our favorite shows. I hate that Blake Shelton's leaving because I just think he's fun to watch and everything else. But this is his last season of The Voice. But I've never had a singing voice. It'd be cool to be able to sing like some of these people do. But alas, it isn't to be. But we still watch them. I still watch a voice. No singing voice of my own. But that doesn't stop me from criticizing each and every one of them. Saying, yeah, he didn't sound that good tonight. Yeah, not really into that particular performance. It's just like Ink Master. I don't have any tattoos, but I feel like I'm an Ink Master tattoo expert because I've watched enough shows. What's that commercial? I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. I feel like that watching Ink Master. I don't have any tattoos, but I feel like I can give commentary on what makes a good or bad tattoo. Shading, lines, all that. Line work. I know all the stuff because I watched that show. So yeah, The Voice is the same way. I can't sing, but I love to criticize people who do try to do so. But Brian, I hope they do well, and once they make it on the show, tell us what their name is, and we'll cheer them on just a little bit more. All right. Let's see. Zachary saying oxygen, hydrogen, sulfur, sodium, and phosphorus. Walk into a bar. Oh, snap, says the bartender. All right. I get it, but I have a feeling that some of my coworkers may not get it. That may be one I have to write up on a whiteboard. OHS and do it a little bit at a time. But all right, that's pretty good. I keeping that one in my back pocket. And can you imagine telling a joke like that and just seeing the whole audience go? Drop like a dead duck, right? But I get it, so thank you very much. I appreciate it, Zachary. That's what I was looking for. That's definitely a groaner. So, all right, let's see. Guys, it is so late. I'm used to doing this show at 7:00 in the evening. Now I had to delay it an hour because of business stuff. And I'm an hour behind. I don't know how you phrase it. because I'm on East Coast time. So now it's 8:45 or so, and 8:45. No, it's later than that. It's 9:45. Your computer's still showing me the old times. So yeah, it's feeling a little bit later than usual, but that's all right. I was so worried I wouldn't get a chance to do this, and yet again, thank you for sticking around and waiting for old Scufflaw me to finally show up and make it happen. All right, a person or this is Ma. A person orders H2O, and then the person next to them says, I'll have H2O too." Why did they die? Because they accidentally ordered hydrogen peroxide. All right, Ma. That's a good one as well. Yeah. I'm gonna tell these jokes, and probably everyone else is gonna say we weren't serious about the chemistry jokes. Just stop right now, Cliff. Stop. Call it good. You don't need to be telling any jokes. I like both of those. I am gonna have to, as soon as we get done here, I'm gonna have to write them down because maybe I can remember them. But yeah, I'm gonna write them down, and then these people I work with are gonna say, "Where in the heck did he get those jokes?" Well, I got a secret resource to tap that no one else has, right? All right, thank you, Ma. I appreciate that one as well. Uh, Vicky saying no, McDade now getting well. Yeah. Again, that was my old neck of the wood. Well, not really that, but when I was going to school at Texas A&M, we spent a few times going over to Austin to hang out and do the music scene and all of that. And so, yeah, McDade and Elgin, a nice little in between area to stop and stay with the roommate and then head on and do all kinds of stuff over there. So, yeah, it's a pretty part of Texas. Mark Taylor saying, I hated chemistry. I had to take 2 classes to graduate. I got a solid C- with 200 other students. Sometimes a C or a C- is good enough, right? We had, was it George Bush Jr., I think, that spoke one time at a graduation. It wasn't mine. I feel like it was someone else. I graduated at a different session or whatever. But he said, I want all the magna cum laudes to stand up. I want the summa cum laudes to stand up. And they did. And everyone clapped. And he said, congratulations. You deserve all the applause and everything for your hard work. He said, but you missed out on part of college. You missed out on this particular part of college. The person who says, oh, God, just let me get a 60. Just let me get a D so I can pass this class. That's all I care about. He said, you missed out on the joy of receiving a D or a C and knowing that you're through with the class, you did just good enough, and you can move forward. Yeah, I get it completely. Here's the thing, Mark. I hated chemistry when I was in college. I did not like it. It was, again, as I said before, I'm hands-on. I like to see a gear here and a gear here and say, all right, you turn this one turns. Yeah, that's what I like. Chemistry doesn't work like that. Here's a white chemical. Here's a pink chemical. You mix them together, you probably blow things up. I feel like I did that once or twice. That's probably why I didn't do so well in chemistry. I did okay. But I didn't really like it when I first did it. Now I work in the chemical industry, and I wish I could go back and take those classes again because it means there's practical applications. And I understand why all those chemical formulas we used, why we did them and what they represent and what they mean. Having worked in the industry now it all makes a lot more sense. And I'd love to go back and visit it with the experience that I have now. But I'm not going back to school to take chemistry classes. Yeah, my good enough grades for chemistry are still good enough for me. All right, let's see. Moss, and I could never imagine a class that big. Oh, yeah, 200 other students. I had classes 400 or 500 students occasionally at Texas A&M. And other big schools have these big classes, freshman classes especially. And some of them, we always call them weed out courses. I'll never forget. I started off as a petroleum engineer. My very first class as a petroleum engineer is all petroleum engineering students. The professor told us, he said, all right, I want y'all to all do something. He said, I want you to look to the person to your left. I want you to look to the person to your right. I want you to look to the person in front of you. And I want you to look at the person behind you. And he said, those 4 plus yourself, 5 people, of you 5, 1 of you are going to graduate with a degree in petroleum engineering. The other 4 won't. Oh, no. There's a motivational speech for you, right? I was right there saying, "Oh, well, okay, maybe I'll go major in something else after hearing that little that little statistic." But as it turned out, it was kind of true. We started 500 people. We graduated 99. You gotta be determined. Whatever you want to do, be it petroleum engineering, be it chemistry, be it singing on a voice or whatever. I'm convinced you got to be passionate, and you've got to put a lot of hard work into it to make it happen. Because that's what it takes. So, just my little wisdom learned over the years from the old guy Cliff. There you go. Michelle Moore saying, "Is that hotel haunted?" That's what I've heard. Yeah, I laugh and think it's funny now. Maybe not so much. I never know what to think about ghosts. I mean, we make fun of it. I've had a few experiences that I can't quite explain what was going on. Maybe we'll talk about that some other day. I've had one or two encounters with the paranormal, and it didn't have anything to do with TVs and they're here or playing videotapes. The Ring was creepy. Never saw any relatives with their heads spinning around or anything like that, but yeah, a few little doors jiggling and things like that. So yeah, I'll tell y'all stories later. But yeah, that's what I keep hearing on this one. So I'm kind of thinking if I get a chance tomorrow, maybe I'll run to the hardware store next door and just buy some chains. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just walk down the hallway and shake those chains a little bit and see whose attention I can get. I'd probably get thrown out of the hotel, but beyond that, it'd be a hilarious prank, right? All right. Cindy is saying, "Cliff, have you watched Wednesday yet?" No, but I'm kind of interested in it. I saw the little trailer on Netflix. This is all about Wednesday Addams, right? I guess this is the pre-years before. I don't know. How's that work out? Because I don't know how old Wednesday Addams was supposed to be in the Addams Family, the original TV show, but I saw a little clip with her with a bag of piranhas and some guys in a swimming pool, and her just being her old evil. She's not evil. She just is different. She's just unique in what she appreciates in the world, right? No, Cindy, I haven't seen it, but it did pique my interest. So, eventually, as I often say, add it to the list. That looks kind of fun. I know they're not the same, but I know Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah, the show was on ABC. It was all this high, kind of happy and jokey and all that. And then you got Sabrina the Teenage Witch on, I guess it was Netflix, one of the streaming services, a little bit more serious about it. And I'm wondering if Wednesday is kind of the same deal, where kind of not completely serious, but certainly a little darker. If you can be darker than the Addams Family. I got a funny story for y'all. What time is it? Yeah, we got time for it. I took a trip, 16 or so, to Mexico City, to Cuernavaca. Went down to Mexico with the church group, right? We went down there, hung out, worked in an orphanage, and did some different things. We had to go to church. We went to church on a Sunday. The church was in Spanish. Now I speak a little Spanish, so I was trying to follow along as best I could. But at one point, there's a bit of silence during the service. And it was a pretty busy street this church was located on. And while it's very quiet inside the church, someone walking by outside the church had a big black Walkman radio playing the Addams Family theme song. Now, first of all, if you got one of those big radios that you're holding on your shoulder and playing music, why are you playing the Addams, of all songs, why are you playing the Addams Family theme song? I don't know. And I was inside, they were outside, so I never had the chance to ask, but that's what they're doing. So right in the middle is a very solemn, very serious church service. We hear da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun. And of course, everyone in our whole row, we can look down the row and everyone just, without actually snapping their finger, singing along underneath their breath. Couldn't keep from laughing. I'm sure this minister thought, what is with these crazy gringos that are laughing as we do a very solemn service? But they're playing the Addams Family theme song. Hey, we gotta laugh, right? Yeah, I'll always remember that little particular event. So yeah, now that's a long answer. The short answer, Cindy, I haven't seen it yet, but I want to. All right, Mark saying, what city is TYN? Do you like them? I'm not sure what that means, Mark. I know I'm missing out some of these conversations and such. Ma saying, I was so heartbroken seeing the U.S. team cry. That was hard. They weren't the only one that felt like crying, but they gave it everything they could. Man, they just weren't really connecting with each other, literally or otherwise. In that game, the passes weren't going where they needed to. They came close. They were down 2-0. They scored. Suddenly it's 2-1. I'm thinking, all right, just one more goal, and then maybe we could send it into penalty kicks. Who knows what happens at the point in time? We got the momentum if we could score another one. Yeah, didn't happen. They came right back, scored another one. We lost 3-1. But it's what it is. Mark Taylor saying, "Oh, TCU in Texas. What city is TCU in? I assume." Yeah. Here's the thing: like, I grew up a TCU Horned Frog fan. Yeah, believe it or not, I grew up in Arlington, which is a suburb of Fort Worth. My parents went to TCU, so I was a huge Horned Frog fan. The first time I ever saw Texas A&M Aggies playing a football game, I was actually there cheering on TCU. And here come all these guys from A&M, all dressed in their military gear and everything else. It's like, geez, this is an interesting little school. And yeah, who would have thought that's where I ended up? But yeah, I love TCU. My mom was at the game on Saturday that they lost, unfortunately, but they still made it into the playoffs. So yeah, I'll definitely be cheering for TCU through the rest of the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the whole thing, but I'd love to see it happen. That would be a lot of fun. I know a lot of folks, a lot of people in my family went to TCU, and it would be hard if they won the national championship before Texas A&M did. I'd never hear the end of it, but it'd still be pretty cool. All right. Can't you see the Samara Morgan behind Cliff? Yeah. We're going to laugh. Y'all are going to see me next week. My hair's going to just be pure white. And y'all can say, what happened? Oh, ghost showed up. What do you expect to happen? Or it's going to be gone, one or the other. Or I'll be doing Cliff Notes Live. Just all of a sudden, I'll just... Yeah, I'm acting silly now. All right. Let's see. Cindy saying on the 16th, I'll be seeing John Franklin from The Circle season 4 do stand-up. That could be good or bad. I have not seen The Circle season 4. Here's the thing about stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I've seen a few shows myself. When they're funny, there's no better way to spend the night. When they aren't funny, no worse way to spend an evening. I had a brother who got a speeding ticket, and he thought it would be a fantastic idea to go take comedy defensive driving, not just regular. How boring is regular defensive driving? Well, it's not as bad as taking comedy defensive driving when the person telling the jokes is incredibly unfunny. He said it was the most excruciating 8 hours he ever spent sitting in front of someone listening to them tell very bad jokes with absolutely no timing whatsoever. So yeah, good stand-up comedy, really good. Bad, not so much. All right, let's see. Connor Gibson say, welcome, Connor. So glad I stumbled upon this channel. You are the man. Well, thank you, sir. I'll throw it right back at you. I do appreciate episode 105. So I guess this is the first episode following 2 years of doing this show. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, I love doing it. I love interacting with all of y'all, answering questions and commenting and everything else as well. So, all right, let's see. All right, here's one from Mark. Joke, one atom to another atom. Be like a banana and split. Dumb joke. I try to, yeah, but that's more my level, Mark. That's that one people will get. Some of the others, when I read it, I get it. When I tell it, I think the worst possible thing would be for me to tell a joke and have it sail over the head of some of my bosses, and then look at me a little bit differently. All right, Ma saying, read my joke, Cliff. Ma, tell it again, because if I didn't read it already, then I missed it, and it's probably better that you do it again versus me trying to scroll up and find it, and maybe not catching it. So, but you know me. Feel free to post it, and I'll try to look at it again. Ma saying, Cliff, where did you graduate? Magna cum laude, summa cum laude, or I graduated with a diploma, right? I did okay. I was in high school. I did fine. I did not that I didn't have issues. I had to work hard at I've always worked, but high school I did fine. College, some of those courses were a little hard. I took honors calculus my first semester, having never taken calculus in high school. Bad mistake. Had me questioning everything about life when I took that class and felt completely lost. Uh, didn't do so well. I did better the second time I took it. So let you deduce how I did on my first semester of honors calculus. Yeah, I didn't do that well, but later I figured out and it worked out fine. I graduated okay. Yeah, I wasn't magna cum anything. I was a graduate, which for petroleum engineering was perfectly fine. Uh, here's a deep secret that no one wants to tell people when they go into college necessarily. Your GPA probably makes a difference in the first job you get. It may make a little bit of a difference in the second job you get, possibly. After that, no one cares. If you got the diploma, if you've got some work experience, that is so much more important than GPA. Now, maybe in some professions, it's different. But for what I do, it's been decades since anyone ever said, "Hey, Cliff, we're considering you for this promotion, but what was your GPA?" Yeah, they don't do that anymore. You put into work. The key GPA is just some way to measure how much you learned, and sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not. The main thing is take in everything you can while you're in college. Remember it, because that's going to determine whether you're a good worker or not so good worker, and that's going to be what produces the results, the successful career going forward. It's not the GPA. It's just the indication of how much you learned, how much you can put into practice based on that. This my little 2 cents in there. All right, let's see what else. Let's see. What's city in Texas? TCU and Market. That's Fort Worth, Texas, right? Just to the west of Dallas, where the West begins. Vicky's saying, did you lose your job when you were on Big Brother? Yeah, but I knew that was a potential risk. I told my boss, I said, look, I can't tell you what I'm doing. I may be gone a week. I may be gone 3.5 months. And I don't know for certain which it's going to be, and I can't really say why, except that I'm not going to work for the competition or anything else. I said, just consider a sabbatical. And so my bosses at the time said, look, we're going to let you use up all your vacation time, use up all your sick days, everything possible. And then after that, if you're still not back, then, based on what's happening, we'll see. So yeah, fortunately, I guess, I did so well in Big Brother. I was in that house for so long that I knew while I was in there, I was in, all right, well, the job is gone by now. They can't wait 3.5 months. And so when I got out, the job was gone, but that's all right. Sometimes you take a little risk in life. Sometimes you have to kind of go different directions. And what a bucket list thing to be on Big Brother. So yes, even though it had some impact in terms of career, life goes on, right? All right, we're going to shut it down here pretty quick, guys. First of all, again, thank you. A lot of y'all sat out here for an hour. I saw it. I don't think I didn't look at some of those comments. A lot of y'all sat out here for an hour waiting for me. So appreciative. And I'm sorry I made you wait, but unfortunately, the real world and business takes priority over even something as so much fun as this. So that's it. Brian saying, did you ever talk to Kat Dunn about your ghost story? I don't think so. Kat had so many conspiracy theories. We need to talk about ghosts in particular. I need to track that girl down. I bet she's got some stories to tell. No, I haven't, but maybe I need to. All right, Jake, the horror movie geek. Have you seen previews for a movie called Violent Night? I have, and I haven't figured out exactly what it is, Jake. I've heard some people say it's kind of like a Die Hard, but it somehow involves Santa as well. I don't know. I don't know enough about it yet. I'm not a huge fan of horror movies that involve killer Santas or killer reindeer or anything that's going to make kids not be as open to the Christmas spirit. You know what I mean? There's some creepy stuff. There was a Winnie the Pooh horror movie out there. Winnie the Pooh. I guess they go feral and Eeyore goes ballistic. I don't know. It's kind of creepy stuff. So yeah, no, I don't know if that's what Violent Nights is, or it's more just Die Hard taking place over the Christmas season. And I don't know, but yeah, I've heard talk about it. I need to check into it a little bit more. And Jake saying it looks really good. The preview I saw, and it's not even full preview, just reading a little bit. It seemed like it could be interesting. So Yeah, I probably won't go see it at the movie theaters, but I did go see a movie over the weekend, Ticket to Paradise with Julia Roberts and George Clooney. Man, it was okay. It made me realize though it's the first movie I've seen in a movie theater in a long time. We went and saw that one. Previous to that, we went and saw the Top Gun Maverick a few months before that, and then gosh, it's like last year we went and saw West Side Story. 12 months, and that's probably 3 movies I've seen inside a movie theater. Isn't it funny how COVID changed everything? Now I just watch all these movies on streaming services instead, which doesn't bode well for the movie theaters out there. They better be selling a whole lot of popcorn since so many people are still staying home on that. All right. Hey, my mom's out here. Hey, mom. What? Crazy night over here in Ohio, but welcome. I'm glad to see you out here as well. All right, guys, I think it's 9:06. I think I came on board about 8:05 or so. So I'm going to shut it down. Thank y'all again for your patience. I'm glad I was able to come back and do some of this. All right, Ma wanted to do this joke, so I'm going to, Ma, I read that joke, H2O2. Yeah, no, I'm definitely writing that down. That may be one of the ones I throw up. Hey, throw up literally, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. That may be impressive if I tell more than one chemistry joke because I bet no one else does it. All right, guys, we're going to, let's see. My mom's saying Cliff finished a 5-year engineering program in 4 years. He did fine. I did okay. I loved it. Again, you got to have passion for what you do. And even though my first semester studying mud, I somehow, for a little while, questioned the passion behind that. It actually was pretty cool. So do something you enjoy when you're in college. 5 years, 4 years, magna cum laude, just barely graduate. It doesn't matter as long as you enjoy it and you learn. That's what it's all about. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down. Thank you again so much. I'm going to have all kinds of stories next Wednesday once I get back from Hearts of Reality. Who knows? Some of the stories I may even be able to talk about. Some of them, maybe not so much. Until then, guys, y'all have a fantastic week wherever you may be. I'll be in West Virginia. I'll be in Ohio. I think I'm doing a layover in St. Louis on the way back home as well. I'll be in Orlando. I'm just flying everywhere this week. Guys, y'all have a fantastic week. I will see y'all next Monday. I'll also be dropping episodes of Survivor and a Challenge. I'm going to try to do that Wednesday between this trip and Orlando. We'll see how that goes. But until then, y'all have a great one, guys. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye. Watch out for the ghouls.